Hello, evening, everyone. Good evening. Today is Friday the 13th, May 13th, 2022. I am Salabu's sister, and this is My Turn to Talk.
The world turns around you. This part of my soul beats only for you. Do you know you are everything? You're the flowers of the spring. You're full moon in the dark. You're my heart and my soul.
Welcome, Dude Sean. Welcome. You're number one tonight.
You are everything.
Okay, well, dude, I'm going to get started. Right now, it's just me and you on Podbean, and for anyone joining us on YouTube and Facebook, thank you, thank you. So today, I want to talk about the chicken or the egg. So I'm not going to ask which came first. Does it really matter? But I do want to ask, why do we have riddles? I mean, what is the purpose of riddles? I mean, there are thousands of riddles out there. Some of them are just so corny, and some of them are actually quite good. But why do we have riddles? What is the purpose? I mean, who invented the first riddle? So that is what I want to ask. Who invented the first riddle? Do we know? Do we care? Just saw Sean say house music. Yeah, my Friday music is a little different from my afternoon tea music. So seriously though, are riddles even important? And I asked because I was actually telling some riddles the other day, and some of them were really, really silly. But it made people laugh, you know. So some people think that riddles were invented to make people think, you know. Even some of the silliest ones, they kind of make you think. So that's my question. What are the purpose of riddles? Is it to entertain, or is it to challenge? So, dude, I'm going to actually invite you up on the panel. So I'm not talking to myself, because I know the night crowd usually straggles in. But I mean, what do you think? Why do you think people have riddles?
Well, hopefully you can hear me. Thank you for having me
Of course, Sean, always, always.
on Friday night. I can't think of a better way to spend it with you.
Oh, thank you.
Me on this, Podbean.
Yes, we are. We are on.
I think riddles is a little bit of, isn't it, life imitating art?
Okay. Okay.
You know?
So, but do you think that they were, let's put it like this. Do you think someone invented the riddle, or do you think that one day somebody just said something, then somebody else said something, and so on, so on, so on?
Maybe perhaps someone had invented it. Maybe it's not either one. Maybe there was some organic development as well. That's a tough one. That's an interesting question. It's interesting.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask this, and I'm putting you on the spot, and I'm going to make you think for a moment. What is the corniest riddle you ever heard?
The corniest riddle I've ever heard.
The silliest and Just
I don't know too many riddles, honestly.
really?
Yeah. The only reason why I was thinking that maybe perhaps it was invented is because of some of like early Chinese poetry forms, like haiku, where there are
Okay.
definitely set styles of poetry, if that's the way one would word it. But
So since you brought up the Chinese, Confucius comes to mind. So when you say Confucius says, is that a riddle?
I'm not sure. I'm going to have to call on you on that one as your school teacher.
I mean, I just actually just thought of that because you brought up Chinese, but I actually think that it probably was when you say, well, Confucius says that blah 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 blah. Um, is it a riddle or is it what's the other word I want to use? Is it oh, I can't think of the word I want to use. Confucius says, is it more of a um oh, Sean, I can't think of what I want to say. More like a guide to what you should do. Does that make sense? I'm trying to make sense here.
Right. I do. I can do that. Mhm.
Okay. All right. So, okay. So, did anyone ever solve which came first, the chicken or the egg? And does it really matter? And I just thought of this. I'm thinking, Sean, were you in Tuttle's and Kubella's show last night?
I was kind of towards like the later end of it.
Okay, all right, because this literally just popped into my mind. So, okay, so last night they were talking about creation and Adam and Eve, Lilith, um, dinosaurs, whatever. So when you think about the chicken or the egg, does that kind of play into that when you think of that riddle? What came first, the chicken or the egg? Is that kind of saying, you know, what came first? Were dinosaurs here first, or I mean, and does it really matter? Welcome, Scooter. Does it really matter? I know.
Yeah, for sure. I just I don't know.
I know you didn't expect this show to go like this, did you?
No,
See?
this is interesting. This is cool. I can do this. I'm kind of more on the awakened, oddly enough, for being as late as it is. I thought that was a brilliant program right until someone complimented the show and flattered it and said it kind of took the same form as your program. And then right at that moment, it took her to Mortal Kombat a little bit. But with that being said, I didn't really think that I got a chance to. With like flat Earth, round Earth stuff, it's like, um, I think sometimes people get in their way of are just get in the way of their own self, if that makes any sense. So it's like,
I'm trying to connect the dots.
yeah. So, I'm the same way. I'm going with what the Bible says, but I'm also not going to, try to take it literally, or then all of a sudden, try to create like a linear timeline and have like the science of the Bible. I think that would be an example of getting in one's way. It's like, why don't we go ahead and let's do God, not try to have everything all figured out underneath man and woman's terms and ways of thinking, and maybe put some higher purpose into practice. I think I'm just as guilty. But to hear people they're like, if a flat Earth's an idiot, and I'm like, NASA's still making very fundamental mistakes, like not knowing whether or not the moon is within the Earth's atmosphere or not. It's like, are you in outer space or not? Like, and then to double down on some of these kind of sciences as if they're a matter of actual fact.
Okay,
And
so I'm gonna
just
I'm gonna direct it a little bit back towards the riddle thing then.
Yeah, no, I just
do
was.
you
I think I was just letting it fly a little bit on last night.
no,
So
no, no,
yeah.
no, no. That's fine because now you opened up another door for me in terms of the whole riddle thing. Do you think riddles are science?
Do you think riddles are science? Honestly, I think science is just a way is just a way to detail observation. Um, um, it's just a riddles. No, I think that's you know at its core level is like just language arts. I guess if you want to be literal about it.
Okay. All right. No, I mean, because let me read some of these comments here. Lou Rock says, for some reason I always thought the dinosaurs were the giants that roamed the earth that had sex with humans. Okay.
No, wait. Oh my, that's a bad
Lou
day.
Rock,
You wake up with a that sounds more like your
that's a
own
big leap.
fantasy,
I
The Rock.
mean, you're talking about dinosaur. Okay, that were the giants. Okay, I thought the dinosaurs that were the giants that roamed the earth that had sex with humans.
Uh,
So are you saying that
hey,
humans were
honey, we decided
giants? Well, he had.
the bedroom.
Well, he have lizard people. Satan is a serpent.
Yeah, and then that was the whole thing. It was like there was this assumption argument that the Bible needed to explain off dinosaurs and then some timeline and where it's not making
Okay, I opened this door and I'm trying to figure out where this conversation is going because I was talking about riddles. I'm trying to think of where this conversation is going because now we're talking about lizard people. So, okay, but okay, I don't. I really, I probably shouldn't have done this because I really don't want to copy what Tuttles and Kubella were doing last night.
Oh, there's nothing new under the sun. They weren't doing it.
I know.
You got Pine did a little SD, and there we had it.
So okay,
It just
so
seemed to be like recycled concepts of like Masonic beliefs, where like people are just energy, et cetera, et cetera. Bodhisattva recycled, just new age of 30 and 40.
okay,
It's
but
redundant at best.
Lou Rock is saying we have lizard people. I'm not there. I'm not there. So I know Satan is a serpent. Satan was also a fallen angel. I'm trying to get to the lizard people. Help me get there.
There is all sorts of demonic entities on this earth that I have seen with my very own eyes and experienced very real. Whether or not to want to put a label, if this one's a lizard, if that one's a vampire, if that one is just a creepy old guy who's done so much evil shit that now it is starting to manifest in his own physical form.
Now see, dude, you just brought up something. I do believe there is a such thing as vampires. I do. So
thank you. Yeah, no,
so,
there's for sure. There's several different kinds too, all the way down to something that no longer looks human.
So yeah.
I know. I've been privy to this.
So Scooter says, I want in on this. Well, you are on the panel, and what do you want to put your 2 5 cents or $1.50 in?
It's only worth a penny, and with by inflation, it's even less than that. No, that was really intense and very informative about what people thought last night with Tuttles and Kubella. Did you enjoy that, Solid?
I enjoyed it so much, and I was thinking about. I had the topic on riddles for tonight, and then I was like, when I was listening to everyone last night, I'm like, this is going to tie in with my topic tomorrow, and everyone was just literally blowing me away. I mean, no one said anything that was funny, and when I say funny, I mean everyone was being very serious, and I took in everything. It blew me away last night.
And it's interesting because people, they believe what they believe. They're convicted in their beliefs, and I think that's fantastic. I think that you should believe in things. I don't think they were headed down the right path, though.
But when you say headed down the right path, but that was their opinion. So,
well, yes and no, because if you remember, some people tried to interject in there the carbon dating, how old the Earth is, um, and and you mentioned something a little bit earlier that science. You were talking about science, and candidly, science is just a practice. It's where you learn about something and then you add to the knowledge that you're receiving. So it's not perfect. It's not finite. It goes on forever because we're forever learning new and wonderful things about medicine, about the environment that we live in, the ocean. They're finding new creatures in the ocean.
okay, so if science is about learning, and I know I'm about to step in I'm going to step in it, and it's going to be stinky.
Step in that learning. I'll write a song for you.
I'm about to step in it. But if science is supposed to be about learning, and I'm not trying to diss anybody, I'm not going there. I'm being completely, this is a serious question. If science is supposed to be about learning, then why is everyone putting down science and scientists just because of something they don't want to do?
Okay, take it from a different perspective, Solid. Science is about learning. There are no de facto standards. So when somebody comes to you and says, I'm a scientist and this is the only way that it has to happen, this is what you need to do, that's wrong. That's a fallacy. They don't know for sure.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
Let me ask you something. Medicine is a science. Do you agree with me?
Yes.
Okay. So how come when you refer to a doctor or a doctor's world, they're practicing medicine? Why do they use the word practice?
I don't know. That's a good question.
Because there are no set, it's not written in stone. If you get a headache, you don't know for a fact that ibuprofen, Advil, or acetaminophen or aspirin is going to cure it. You take a guess, and it's an educated guess because you know what these chemicals will do to a person's body, but it doesn't react the same in everybody's body. Otherwise, we'd be golden. You'd have one pill, it would cure everything. It'd cure cancer, it'd cure diabetes, it'd cure multiple sclerosis, it would cure polio, which you're just about old enough, and I'm right there on the cusp of it when polio was rampant. It was a bad disease. But then you got in line at school and you walked down there and that nurse shot you with that air gun and all those wonderful things back when we just did
right.
what we
And I'm
were
pretty
told.
sure you have what I have on my arm, that vaccination mark.
Oh yeah. Yeah, a little angel kiss right on your arm.
That vaccination mark. Okay, so look at what Lurock said. He said medicine is witchcraft, and this goes back to a show. I think you were on the show earlier, during the week when he basically said, that he prayed over his son, and his son was better. He doesn't believe in medicine. So, what do you think about that? Medicine is witchcraft.
Witchcraft is a label. Medicine is a label. For lack of a better term, it comes from a Latin word, the Hippocratic Oath from Hippocrates, who came up with the practice of medicine in Greece. Some people consider it witchcraft, but I believe prayer works.
But the interesting thing about witchcraft, and I think witches get an unfair label, because a witch was actually way back when, was actually considered a wise woman. And then when Christians came, they saw these so-called witches or wise women as something evil, so they gave them this term, and and it stuck. But witches were actually wise women who did heal people within the village or wherever.
Well, and wise men too, because
Wise men, yes.
you have witch doctors. And a lot of you got to remember, if you go back in history, a lot of the labels that are placed out there, it's based on pure ignorance and fear.
Okay, now Lurock says my ex-wife is a witch. She's evil. I don't know if you're being sarcastic or if you are saying that she really is a witch.
Now, Solid, I have 2 ex-wives, so I might tend to gravitate in that direction, and they may think I'm the warlock of the world.
Well, Lurock says that he's being dead serious, and I do believe that there are people who are practicing witches and warlocks. I do believe that. He said she's half Egyptian and half Brazilian.
Friends. Okay, so they're
Dude, go ahead.
a little bit starting to state someone's they're switching.
Okay, dude, you are breaking up.
So just like that, just can't even get exact data on like Lou from like 2018. I watched them literally change it like 3 times right before my eyes. And then so history I think is kind of, we can just assume is bogus for the most part. So with that being said, from personal experience, I've even had where there's been like sacrifice type stuff where I've had like moms that like try to commit suicide. I save them. And then moving forward, now you'll see the pharmacy thing is in the front yard of the house, literally carved out of wood. I'm gonna get it from my own videos where I've been doing my own research in the area. And then keep in mind also healing people just because there is witchcraft. Healed if you're doing it for the wrong reason or for the wrong cause, and then it's a faith step in the wrong direction. And that's
Okay, I got most
I
of
know
that.
for a lot of people, hard concept for one to grip as well.
Okay, Jude, I got most of that, but you're breaking up. So can we say? Okay, hold on. Lurock says her mom was big into witchcraft. Her mom was into chicken blood rituals and sacrifices. Okay, so let me ask this. Just because someone is into chicken blood rituals and sacrifices, and I'm playing both sides of the fence here, does that mean that it's wrong?
Yes, and let me add you why. Because there's obviously being an animal harmed. It's not healthy behavior, and we need to do away with something being guarded or concepts being guarded by. Well, it's my opinion, so you can't touch that.
Wait. Okay, okay, dude, hold on, because because you're saying that is wrong, and Lurock is also saying that is wrong. But if it's someone's culture, are you going to say that someone's culture is wrong?
Yeah. Yes, I'm going to go ahead and do that. Why? We're not supposed to? Because if you don't set boundaries, then look what happens. Then you have having to wear a mask to CVC. Oh, snap. Are taking dangerous vaccines and having a mark.
No, but the reason
I got a new tattoo.
The reason why I say that is because who's to say what culture is wrong or savage? And that's one of the problems that we have in this country, where a lot of people's cultures were erased because Americans thought that you should be like us, you should be like Christians, you should be like us, and everyone else is wrong. If you're running around and you're half dressed or whatever, you are a savage, you are this, you are that. But if it's someone's culture and that's what they've learned for years and years and years, who's to say that they're wrong and you're right? Couldn't it just be that everyone's practicing their own religion or culture, whatever, medicine, whatever? Do
Yeah, see, the thing is, when we don't challenge stuff like that, like I said, with all due respect, then we get to where we're at right now, where we can't make confident decisions, and we're kind of just, well, what are they saying? And we're looking to outside sources. No, in fact, I challenge you guys to be the authority, if you will, to be that mentor, to step in when things are obviously wrong, and yeah, challenge someone's opinion, because people can have an opinion. Or a kidnapper probably loves kids. Well, that's it. Nope. Of course, that's an over animated, extreme example, but you know what I'm getting at. And let's not take examples of history where people have obviously migrated all throughout different continents on this bogus history in the first place. That maybe it's wrong, maybe it's not. But if it's part of your culture, that doesn't mean that it's right. And I think it's
Well,
about
no,
high
no,
time that
and
we
you
really
no.
engage and start challenging people.
Hold on, dude.
Everyone's
No, I mean no,
otherwise other people are coddled right off a cliff, and it's the demise of the whole world. That's why.
no,
So if we're
no,
gonna say
and
who
you're
am
no,
I
and
to
you're
challenge an opinion, then I would say me.
no,
And I hope that
no, you're making some very good points. You are.
for sure.
No, I mean no, I mean
We're literally laying in the bed of this
no,
exact argument right now as we speak.
no, I mean you are making some very good points, but when you start talking about history, I kind of that's a whole different show. But history, because I know what my history is. I know what my ancestors' history is. I know
Well,
what
see, then we have an emotional attachment.
No,
See, that's
no,
what
no,
also
no,
I
no,
kind
no,
of
no, no,
noticed
no,
that.
no,
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 I did. I
no,
noticed on other programs
no, no,
where
no, no,
there's an
no, no,
emotional
no.
attachment to you being African American,
No, no,
and it's hurtful. So therefore,
well, so I should erase my history.
no one ever said that.
So I am just saying that when you have other
And it's actually
cultures
not your
with
history. It's your family's. It's your past. It's family members' history. That's not your personal history. So to take that and then like personalize it, and then have it where it's like, you're then making decisions based upon that. Then I would be very wary of that, honestly, because for me, with all due respect, and this is a tough love here, I noticed like maybe some held resentments within you when it comes to African American history, and I just that's kind of hard to say, maybe
no,
especially
I mean
live.
no,
But
I mean I am listening to you, and that's fine, but at the same time, then can I say that everyone who's and again everyone, as you know, my show, it always takes different paths, whatever. So then can I say that when people are waving a Confederate flag and they're talking about, my ancestors fought in the Revolutionary War, then can you say the same thing about them?
I mean, what about them? Probably
No,
obviously in bad taste, right? So that's where we have to have discretion, and we can't just be like, have these umbrella terms, and then we start to word fold, and things get sneaky. All of a sudden, the bully at the school is a terrorist, and then we are on the cha-cha-cha-cha treadmill. So
okay, all right.
high time to start moving.
Everyone is entitled to their opinion. Welcome Crucible, and welcome GP Man. Did I forget anyone? No. Okay. I mean, you've made some very good points. I don't necessarily agree with them. And it is my history and your history and their history, or his history, or whatever. So that means that when Native Americans, say that, our land was stolen or something or whatever, then that means that they shouldn't say that because it's not their land.
It's like all the rest of our sciences, pharmacies, they're flawed in nature.
Okay.
So regardless of one's personal attachments to history of their own past histories where there's been controversies or one has been oppressed or something, then you cannot just say that all history is correct and make your decision based upon that.
True. But then again, you can't say that a person's history or history is wrong. I mean, you can't just assume that something that someone is saying that is not true or is wrong. So Scooter,
that's true.
Scooter, you wanted
Yes, my dear.
to say something?
What? I'm a Native American, and my family was moved all around this country, but funny thing is, going back to history and things, Did you know that there's really no indigenous people on this continent? If we believe science and everything,
Okay.
my people came over the land bridge. I actually have Asian and Russian and Cossack and genes within my blood, but because they crossed over, came over here, I have Cherokee and Muskogee Creek blood running through my veins. So, yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that, and do you are right. I do have an emotional attachment, and I don't see anything wrong with that because I've seen a lot of stuff. I've seen things that have happened to my own family, so I'm not going to erase who I am, and everyone has their own opinion with history, with the future, with what's going on now, what we should and what we should not do. Everyone has their own opinion, and how we approach it, you know, whatever floats your boat. So, Crucible, welcome.
Hey everyone. Yeah, I mean, good topic. I agree with Sean. History is history to some extent, and I've been on your show before, Solid, and we've kind of talked about the history thing, regardless of what the nature of the history is, whether it's Black history or any other type of history. But since we're talking about Native history or Black history and attachments to history, let's stick with that. What I think frustrates people, I think most people, and I say most, I don't have any numbers in front of me, but most people have a reverence and a respect for history and what happened at that time. But we sometimes forget we're living in 2022, but we're projecting our values today back to 1956, when the world was a completely different place, or 1946 or 36. And we can't relate to that because we have no frame of reference for that, because we're living in today's time. We think back and say, how could that possibly be? It was normal back then. And people living today feel imprisoned by events that they didn't control, or most cases weren't even alive for. So for me, it's always been, how do we strike the balance toward respect and reverence for history, yet letting people who are alive today not be accountable for it on a real time basis, to where events that happen today or things we do today are a response for things that happened 70 years ago. That's the challenge, I think.
Okay. I mean, and we've had this conversation, but when you say, what happened 70 years ago, everything wasn't great for everybody. so 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 it all depends upon what reality you are living in, and everyone has a different reality, and we've talked about this before. Everyone has a different reality, so what you may think is good for one thing, I may think is good for something else. My neighbor may think that is good for something else. Scooter, I am going to let you speak next, but I just wanted to address Lou Rock, because we've been talking about riddles, we've been talking about God, now we're talking about history and cultures and what have you. You said that there's only one God, but again, everybody has a different culture. Everyone's culture is different. Some people worship Buddha, some people worship, God, some people pray to the Mother Mary. Everyone has a different God. So who is to say that there's one God according to who or whom? So, Scooter?
Hey, I was just gonna say, great job, Crucible. I was throwing him some claps there. I like the direction he went in there, but I guess it when you go off in that direction, Blue, um, it's important to the individual. I know who God is for me, and I want to share the good news of my Lord with everybody else. Um, I believe that you stated that you're a Christian as well.
Yes.
Okay. And, we had this conversation. I've studied all different religions and all different things. And there's some interesting things out there. When you start talking about voodoo, um, I mean, one of the tenets in voodoo is to harm creatures and people. Is that, do you think we should embrace that?
No, I'm saying that I think that there are different religions. I think that voodoo is a religion for some people.
It is.
And I'm saying that if that's what they choose to do because they grew up like that, maybe in their household they practiced it, whatever. I don't know, maybe their grandmother, great grandmother, I don't know. I'm just saying that every culture has something different. Whether we should embrace it or not, that's up to you. But I'm just saying that we have to realize that everybody comes from different places where we were all not born in the same place. We were all not raised in the same place, whatever. People come from different families, whatever. So I'm not saying you have to embrace it. I'm just saying that recognize that everyone has different cultures and different religions and they believe in different gods.
Oh, I do. I do, and I respect that because people have their own heritage, and I think that's to be respected. But making it the law of the land,
I didn't say make it the law
Okay.
of
I
the
don't wanna
land.
put-
I
Yeah.
didn't say that. I said that
Okay.
everyone has their own religions, their own beliefs. People grow up differently,
Right.
so that's all I'm saying. People are, I mean, what they do in China, we don't do it here. What they do in Europe, they may not do it in
Okay.
in India. I mean,
That
that's all
interesting.
I'm saying.
I love that statement, but okay, so the things they do in Europe, yes, they import it and they bring it over here. And the things that they do in Africa, they import it and they bring it over here. The things that go on in Somali happen right in Minneapolis, Minnesota. And I can take you to the places where those things happen. They may not be right. They may be right, but that's their heritage. The things that came out of Haiti are still being practiced down in Mobile and New Orleans and in small towns around New Orleans. So they bring that over here.
But
to
don't
the United States.
don't Americans also take it over there? Didn't we, didn't Americans take stuff over to other countries and force, and yes, I'm using the word force, religion and everything onto them? So doesn't that go both ways?
Okay, so I'm going to push back there. Okay, so the Christian church in Europe and specifically in Rome is what spread out with tentacles far and wide, and forced their beliefs on people in other countries and continents and things like that. The Protestants and the Catholics came to the colonies to spread that belief system and those tenets to the people that were here in the United States. We've got a big thing going on right now in Oklahoma, which is really interesting along these lines, because back in the 1800s, after the 1850s, when Andrew Jackson said, "I hate Indians, get them out of the Southeast, let's ship them over to Oklahoma, Indian Territory and everything." The white settlers and some of these great academics created these schools where they would attempt to re-educate and indoctrinate the Indian children. And we're dredging all of that stuff up in Oklahoma because there were 76 Native American schools, Indian re-education schools in the state of Oklahoma. because that's where all the Indians were.
Mm-hmm.
So they would cut their hair
Mm-hmm.
and they would make them dress in
Bustles and long dresses
English
and yep. Mm-hmm.
English clothes,
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't let them speak their native language and things like that. Was that right? No, I don't think that was right. But that was history. Now, in the state of Oklahoma, you know that we still are honoring the treaties, or at least the Indians are honoring the treaties. We have sovereign lands in the state of Oklahoma that you're not affected by the state laws. As a matter of fact, if you go out and you commit a crime in the state of Oklahoma and you're of Indian descent, the state of Oklahoma can't arrest you or they can't prosecute you. They're letting people out of jail that were prosecuted under state law because the tribes have sovereignty, and there's also an agreement with the federal government. So if you steal something, the local police can't arrest you if you're an Indian. The FBI has to do it, or an official of the tribe. And we have tribal police departments around here. But that's going on today in 2022, which I think it's kind of silly, in my opinion. So.
Okay. All right. And again, everyone, has their opinion. You can say that you're giving me tough love. Okay, fine. I'm still going to believe what I want to believe. I'm still going to think the way I want to think, because I know and feel that what I'm saying, is true for me. But it still comes down to, this world is made up of so many different people. This country is made up of so many different people. There are different cultures, there are different races, there are different, just the way people cook, what people eat, how people dress. And who are we to say that, yours is right, yours is wrong? But does that mean that if someone goes to school and their hair is a certain way, that you're going to send them home? Does that mean that if the person who's living next to you and they're cooking something, having a barbecue in their backyard, and you think that they're cooking something that they shouldn't, that is wrong? That's all I'm saying. So we can agree to disagree.
Well, what I would say, Sal, is there's a difference. I mean, I understand you're doing your truth, and I get that. And what I would make a distinction about is there's a difference between truth and beliefs. There can only be one truth. That's how we govern our entire society. And it's kind of called the legal system, but there can only be one truth, an absolute. That's how we rule ourselves.
And that's where I disagree, because when you say there can only be one truth for who?
Well, that's where you didn't let me finish.
Who is making up that truth?
What I was about to say was there's a difference between truth and beliefs. You can believe something and feel something. It doesn't have to be true. So that's where I diverge on the whole truth thing. If we all believed our truth, we have chaos, because my truth is different from your truth. Who sorts it out? Those are beliefs you're talking about. Those are not truths. Those are not absolutes, and they haven't been proven.
And you just said, well, a lot of things have been proven. They have. They just don't want to be.
But in your truth,
they
just
don't want to be acknowledged. And when you just said.
But you said a lot of things have been proven. Which ones?
Truths have been. You just said that the truths are laws, right? Who is making those laws?
Congress, the government.
Okay. So
society.
So now you have these people who are in this position, who have said, this is true. We're going to make this law. So therefore it is true. That doesn't make sense. Just because you make it into a law doesn't make it true.
I know, but I'm saying if we all walked around espousing our own truths, who sorts that out? I don't understand. There's a difference between truth and beliefs. And you say things have been proven. Of course, things have been proven over time, but everybody's truth, we can't research it and say, okay, this is your truth and whatnot. We have to go by some centralized understanding. And that's called what society and the government sets down for us. Otherwise, we're talking about beliefs.
Okay, so that means that, and again, I do not want to. I know this is going to go into a different way because I need to answer this. So you're saying that laws that laws are basically truths. I just want to make sure that I got that right. Are you saying that the laws are truth? That whatever law is, that means that it's true?
As how we are our society functions, yes.
Okay, so that means that if a law was made that said everyone, that instead of stopping on, let's see, how can I put this because I don't want to sound patronizing. Okay, you have some people in Congress who have made comments about rape, who have said that rape is something that a woman should get over. So therefore, you shouldn't have abortion, or therefore, it's the woman's fault. Is that? I mean, if you made that into a law, would that be true? Would that be true that a woman should just get over it?
Hey, Blue, can I
That would be a
interrupt here,
stupid law.
Crucible?
That would be a stupid law. Of course.
I mean, I'm just saying because every law is not a good law. Would you say that every law is not a good law?
I agree.
Okay, so then that means that every law is not necessarily truth, right?
So, and these analogies are going all over the place with all due respect. Our beliefs do not make something fact. I believe I deserve Sofia Vergara as a wife. Probably not true at all. It would be nice, but it doesn't make it a fact. And we'd be literally like living in a cartoon when we can't do something fundamental like challenge people's opinions. Well, that's their opinion and we have a right. In fact, that was like one of the things during the early COVID was like, nobody got anywhere because it's like, well, that's my opinion and then you can't argue against that. No, yeah, you can. You totally can.
But
just like everybody doesn't get a license.
But at the same time, people can push back on what other people. You can push back on me. I can push back on you. You can push back on your neighbor. Whatever, we can push back on each other. That doesn't necessarily mean whether it's your opinion or whether it's your truth, whether it's your fact. Doesn't mean that someone has to necessarily say that it's right or say, hey, yeah, true, yeah. That was, dude. I'm sorry.
I'm not nibbling on it.
No. I'm just saying
there are some realities. There are true realities, and then there are not.
Okay, but would you say that everybody lives? That everybody has their own reality?
No.
So everyone has the same reality.
I don't know. We could do like philosophy, but I feel like it'd be getting way off base. So it's like there's a common sense reality, and there's people have their opinions, and there are sometimes like truth to the false or whatever in between. But the bottom line is, for the most part, there are solid truths, and there it is. And whether we want to believe that or not, people want to be all that's my opinion, and who are you to dare challenge my opinion? Well, when we coddle people that way, we can see where it goes all the way.
Well, I mean, once again, everyone has their own reality. If you have someone who is poor and they don't have enough money to to buy food to eat. That's their reality. If you have someone who is rich and has 12 cars, and they're wasting food because they have so much money, whatever, that's their reality.
Yep.
People
Those
have
would be
different
true.
realities.
So we would both share in that reality.
And well,
those would be
no,
true.
no,
So they'd be shared in those
you're not
realities.
sharing, because if the person who's eating, you're not sharing their table. Your reality is that you're struggling every day, and their reality is that they aren't. So you have two separate realities.
But I think there's a difference between truth and reality. I mean, you can say to somebody that you're living in impoverished conditions. That's reality. It's also true.
But
So
it's
I
their
don't.
but my point is, it's their reality. It's their
Right,
reality.
but it's not a question of truth at that point. It's a reality absent of truth. It in and of itself, it's intrinsically true by the fact that it's real and it's reality. But in and of itself, that person who's experiencing that situation, are they living their truth? They're living their reality. And I think they're just two different things.
And that's what I'm saying. People have their own reality. But I am GP Man. Thank you for waiting patiently. GP Man, you want to say something?
Yeah, I just want to say I agree with what Crucible was saying. Yeah, like we may say, all right, well, Mr. Basketball player X scored 30 points, but in his world, he's a 40. He makes 40 points a game. That's basically the fact is that we all saw that he scored 30 points. It's not that he lives in the reality that he should be scoring 40. It's the fact that we saw him score 30. That's the fact. It's not about himself only. It's the fact is it's what happened. Now, how it's opinionated, that's different. But that's what happened. I guess that's what Crucible was trying to say, which I agree with.
No,
With
no,
what he
I
said.
know. I understood exactly what he was saying. Crucible and I have gone round and round about this for years. Okay, so I understand that. So we're going to have to agree to disagree, because I think that people have that people live different realities. Everyone has their own reality, because everyone doesn't live the same life. Everyone lives different lives. Scooter, I know you've been blinking that mic, so go ahead. Sorry.
Oh no! I'm raising my hand. No,
I know.
please let me
I know. I
in.
know,
Let me in.
Scooter.
I think you guys might be crossing wires here with just some simple semantics, because I think if I'm listening to what Crucible is saying, I think he's correcting what he's saying, but it's just a simple change of words. Reality is the same for everybody, for you, for me, for the people in Europe and Africa. Reality does not change. It's real. It's what it is. But I think what you're getting into is the perspective that people have of that reality. The person that has $1 billion, Elon Musk, has a different perspective on life than what I have or what you have. Or maybe not. I think you are a billionaire. You made it up that Forbes top 10 list, didn't you, Blue?
I wish.
Well, hey, more money, more problems. That's all I got to tell you.
True.
Okay. But the perspective, how people choose to view the reality, I think that's where everyone gets caught up and gets in trouble. I think it's as simple as that.
Okay.
It's just about your perspective on life is different than my perspective. We have vastly different backgrounds, but the reality is the same for both of us, and it doesn't change. We have to purchase things in this reality in order to survive, whether it's putting food on the table, gas in the car. That's just real. It's a part of reality.
Okay. All right.
So,
All right.
and I think beliefs go back to perspective, because how you were raised it creates your belief system, and it also gives you the perspective on life and on reality and how you choose to view it.
And I think the way you said that is true, because again, everyone grows up different. Everyone they experience different things. So yeah,
Exactly.
yeah.
And,
So yeah,
and I think we get caught up. But here's the thing, my perspective and my reality, the same. Will you come into my house and tell me I have to change the way I do things?
no,
You don't
because
like the way that I hang the
this
toilet paper in the
no,
bathroom?
no,
Okay.
because it's your house and your rules, and I'm not going to come in there and tell you what you should and should not do. But on the other
Okay.
hand, if someone is doing something or trying to pass a law or something that's going to affect me in an adverse way, I'm going to speak up.
And you should. I think you should. But all of those references that you made, those idiots, and I saw the Twitter post, those idiots that made ignorant comments about rape and about women. They weren't all men, because you had that one woman in there from
Oh yeah,
Wyoming.
yeah,
So, and I remember when they made those
Mhm.
comments.
Mhm.
Okay, so did any laws come about from those statements that those people made?
No, but
Okay.
it's very possible that it could, and then it is
Yeah, but
possible that
anything,
it's possible that it won't.
anything is possible, because in this life, anything is possible. You can do anything you want. It can happen at any time. But the thing is that in reality, because of the common belief system that we should be good to people, those laws didn't come about. Now, our belief system in the 1800s, we had some really screwy laws that were on the books, but they're no longer on the books. If you get my drift.
I get your drift.
Okay. We
Yeah.
are working collectively to make those changes to society to get rid of those bad things. At least I am. And I know that the people in my neighborhood feel the same way that I do, because we talk about this stuff all the time. So I think we need to remember history, because if we don't, and we don't learn about history, we're going to be doomed to repeat it. We're going to let the shiny, great talking person lead the country and lead us into the wrong path.
And that is what I think 100%.
Well,
I hold on, Crucible. I want to read what Lou Rock has said. Lou Rock says, I'm going to assume God made the creature and they could only offspring by laying eggs. And Lou Rock, we are going to get back to that. And that guy says, I don't know. I can't think of one problem in my life that couldn't be fixed with several $1 million. And Lou Rock says, rape is a horrific crime. Crucible.
what Scooter said is excuse me, what Scooter said is absolutely what has happened in our society across the board for some reason, and I am not even qualified to speak about it, is we somehow have lost the value of competence. Simple competence, being good at basic jobs and doing things that we hire people to do. And when we hire politicians, let's face it, especially when we vote for politicians, we're hiring them. And we expect competence. We may not agree with everything, but competence would seem to be the low bar. And it doesn't seem to be cleared anymore. And I don't know why, in the face of, we wouldn't sit still for a contractor who came in and tore up our kitchen once, much less twice, and disappeared on us. But we vote for the same freaking people who crap in our laps and explain that it's our fault somehow. And on and on and on it goes. So I don't understand this whole thing that we're suddenly, as a society, have suspended competence as a criteria for anything in terms of our government and the people that represent us. How did we get to the point where people can't find their ass with both hands about basic stuff, and we're okay with it?
Well, I'm not going to comment on that because I'll get into a realm that I do not want to
Well,
go down.
I'm talking about
No,
both
I
sides.
no
I'm
no
not
no
bashing
no
anything.
no.
I'm just
I
saying
know.
competence.
I understand, and I'm trying not to go that route. I'm going to get back to my original my original topic about the chicken and the egg, and the only person who seems to be talking about that is Lou Rock. But I understand Crucible, and again, we've had this conversation, So, GP man,
Okay, so the chicken and the egg, what came first? Well, the answer is pretty straightforward. It's a trick question. I heard this when I was a kid. So when it's asking what came first, the chicken or the egg, it's not specifying a chicken egg per se. In prehistoric times, there were many eggs. Many dinosaurs laid eggs. Avis or any of the flying dinosaurs that they laid eggs too, but there were no chickens. So the question is, what came first, the chicken or the egg? Prehistoric times, there was no chickens, but there were eggs. So clearly, the answer is egg. Now, if you ask what came first, the chicken egg or the chicken, then you got a real question.
all right. So this was my question, and did answer it. So more people are here. So I want to know: do you guys think that? Because we started getting into science and all kinds of other things, and then the conversation just went just different ways. Do you guys think that riddles are science? That riddles are there to make one think and to challenge you?
Yes.
Okay. So would you say that? And I think you were the one who brought up the Chinese. So who invented riddles? And do they serve a purpose? Do they serve a purpose for society? Anybody? See, the conversation changes and everybody doesn't have anything to say. Scooter.
I'm all in on that one. Yeah.
Well,
No,
thank you. No, I mean you stop talking about certain things and everybody's quiet. So
solid. I'm old. You got to give me, a good minute and a half to change the waves in my brain to get back to riddles. It's not that easy.
And I have to say this: you're older than me.
Exactly. Riddles. I don't think riddles are. What did you say? They're science.
I mean, do you think that riddles are science? I mean, when you think about the chicken or the egg, and then again, I'm thinking about what Tuttles and Cuckoo Bella were talking about last night, talking about creation and all this other stuff. I mean, is that a scientific riddle? The chicken or the egg. I mean, is that science?
Well, yeah, anything can be science. My goodness, science is just it's just an art form of trying to gain more knowledge. And I think riddles are very instrumental in expanding people's creativity, getting them to think rather than not think. I mean, whenever you're given a riddle, you ponder it and you think about all the different answers that can come of that. And that's basically what science is. But I don't think riddles, I think they were created for fun purposes, not really for science.
But do you think they were meant to challenge us?
Yeah. Oh, don't you get challenged by good riddles?
Oh yeah. So okay,
and they're fun too.
Yes, they are. So would you? I mean, we've all heard a very corny riddle from time to time. So my question is, even the corniest ones, do you think that they have a purpose? That they may be corny, but there's that underlying what is it, lesson?
Well, they do. They increase our ability to critically think. And if I know my ancient Greek, and I don't know it, that's when they were created. That's when they came up with them.
Okay. All right. Now that guy says lateral thinking rather than I cannot pronounce that word. Thinking.
Hierarchical.
Hierarchical. Thank you. Thinking. And John Gale says, I suppose I was asking him about if a parable could be a riddle, and he says, I suppose they could be used to make you think from different perspectives. So going by what John Gale says, and not trying to delve back into the I'm sorry, Crucible, you want to say something? Crucible?
Yeah, I was thinking about, in terms of riddles, I mean, I don't know specifically, they go back, I think, I mean, out of these centuries, I mean, it's probably, in the BC era. But I don't think they were necessarily created to challenge us or anything. I think they were just created as ways of trying to solve problems. I don't know. But as far as we've taken them in modern times as amusing types of things, we see them in the newspapers. You try to do a little puzzle or something, and they're, and that's how we kind of view these things. But a riddle is really a problem solving exercise. And how did the word riddle become to be? I don't know. But when people think of riddles these days, we don't use that in lexicon. In modern lexicon, when you hear a riddle, you think about a joke or some kind of a trick or something. You don't hear about it in that kind of context. But back then, maybe that was their word for solving problems. I haven't heard anything about that. Every time I hear the word riddle, I think of it in a lighthearted way. But back then, it might have been a way of saying, how do we fix something?
Okay. Now J-Lo says riddles are not science in my opinion. They are a means or attempt for a man to explain our challenges, thought about something we may not know. And hierarchical. Okay. That guy, the answer is horses and their names are okay. All right. So John Gill says from Google, while riddles often serve the function of entertaining the audience by proposing challenging questions to be solved, they also serve other purposes. For instance, they may allow for deeper thinking regarding an issue or allow other questions to arise. Okay, so my question, okay, Scooter says, and you had to answer riddle to get across the bridge without the troll. Without the troll feasting on you.
Am I right? Am I right? Come on now.
You are. So, okay, so what would happen with everything that's going on in society today, the way people feel, the way people think, whatever? Would it be a good thing if you had to answer a riddle in order to, be to get this or to get that? I mean, should riddles be something that we should use in everyday life? I mean, I don't know. Crucible.
It depends on the riddle, I suppose, but I mean, I think the general public would be very, very challenged with riddles. I'm just saying, first of all, I think you'd have to explain to them what a riddle is and then take your chances from there.
You do have a point. You do have a point.
I think the general public needs to be challenged in this day and age because there ain't enough challenges out there now.
And so should there be a task force, since everyone likes to say create a task force for this and create a task force for that? Should there be a task force for riddles? And GP Man, are you still here? Did you want to say something? Because I see you're not. Did you want to say something? Are you still here? Is he still here? I think he's gone. Okay. Yeah, he is gone. Okay. So should there be a riddle task force? And Scooter, would you like to be in charge of it?
No, and there should not be a riddle task force. There shouldn't be any other task force along this. But I think it should be incorporated into the curriculum because I think critical thinking for our children is a necessity. I think kids need to learn to be creative, and I think they need to learn to be critically minded and not just blatantly accept answers. I think they need to be challenged.
Well,
But we
I
don't
can
need
tell
a
you one
riddle
thing.
czar.
If I could do school over, there's a lot of things that I would not learn. There's a lot of things that I think were useless, whatever. And if my son were doing school over, there are things that classes that I would definitely pull him out of.
Well, I have a couple quick thoughts. I'm sorry, Solid. I didn't mean to interrupt you there. Did I cut you off there?
Go ahead.
Sorry. Yeah, Scooter. You make a good. I'm sorry. I must have lost my train of thought. Go ahead, Solid. I'll come back. I'm
No,
sorry.
I just want to say to my listeners over on YouTube and Facebook, thank you very much. If you want to join in audio wise, you'll have to come over to Podbean.
Okay,
So,
now I remember. Thank you. When we think about riddles, we forget that riddles come in all kinds of forms. We look at crossword puzzles. We look at things online that we're trying to solve. They don't call them riddles because that's kind of an old-fashioned term, but they're problem-solving exercises. And I think if we looked at them that way, I mean, riddles are just that kind of a thing. The word is outdated. But when we think about how we teach things, and you and I, Solid, we have talked about this in the past about how we frame what we're trying to teach so that it may become more palatable and more acceptable. And sometimes people misunderstand, students or people or whoever is trying to be taught misunderstand what's trying to be taught. And my example is always, and I don't know who agrees with me or doesn't, and I'm curious, maybe Scooter could weigh in on this. And I take algebra as an example. As my sophomore year in high school, I loved algebra. I loved it, but I got C minuses all the time. But I loved the course. And at the end of the year, I ended up with a C. And as I talked to my teacher afterwards, and I said, I love this class. I don't like math. I hate math, but I love this course. And he said, this course is not about math. This is about solving problems. You have to make one side agree with the other side. This is about balancing equations. This is not math. It's math in some form, on some level. You need math for it, for sure, but don't think about it as math. Think about it as a problem solving, a balancing of equations. And then you might embrace it differently. And the light bulb went on. It was too late, of course, but I've always thought about how we frame what we are wanting to teach our students and how they might accept it differently if it were sold better.
well, maybe we should have riddle class instead of algebra class. Welcome, Alpha Mike, and welcome, OJ28. OJ, it has been a minute. Welcome, welcome. Welcome back, rather. Welcome back. Okay, and Alpha Mike says people actually use algebra. I am in a different dimension. And that guy says to John Gale, I also love the Choose Your Own Adventure books. That guy, John Gale, I honestly think those Choose Your Own Adventure books shaped my thinking as a child. And Scooter, ding, 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 Crucible scores. You're welcome, OJ. So, okay, so as I said, as usual, my show starts off as one thing and turns into something else. On that note, does anyone else have anything else that they want to say? Because I'm going to wrap it up. Oh, and I will say one thing. Okay, Barbara, and I did a show today, and um, with the exception of Jester, I forgot that when you start a show and you are like new on Podbean. Yes, Bahram and I, we've have our own show, but it's on YouTube and what have you. But we're bringing it over to Podbean, and we were sitting there all by ourselves and what have you, and it was actually quite funny. So, guys, if you see us, if you see Friendly Differences, please jump on, because we are coming over to Podbean, and we're going to be streaming also from Podbean to YouTube and Facebook and all that other stuff. So. Anyway, I also want to say again, I know you guys have been hearing it. Okay, John Gale, what month of the year has 28 days? All of them. They all have 28 days. Did someone already answer that one? I just saw it. And on Sunday, we are doing, we have a transgender show that we are doing, and I am really promoting this because the person who is coming on is, she says that she's fully transitioned from a male to a female. She knew she wanted to be a female at the age of 6. She really wants to tell her story. So I hope you guys come and listen. It's 12 noon on, again, YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter on Sunday the 22nd. And wait, I'm sorry, Sunday the 5th, Sunday the 15th. And on Saturday the 21st, Scooter and Spanky are going to be on Friendly Differences, and I think that is going to be a fun show, because Scooter, I'm just seeing a whole different side of you, and I like it. So I look forward to that. So Scooter, do you want to make any comments or anything? Scooter? Okay. Scooter has left the building. And John Gale, your show is TalkNet. You want to talk about your show a little bit?
Blue, a good show. Glad I came in at the last minute there. Sorry I didn't get to catch the first part.
That's okay.
So we're doing some inspirational, kind of just encouraging light. Although the topics have seemed to like your show, they change and evolve, and every once in a while we get some heavy kind of topics too. But overall, we just want to offer something that gives people some hope and lets them kind of be encouraged a little bit and inspired. Kind of a different change from the news and all the craziness that's happening in the world today. So that's what we try to do, at least on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays at 5 p.m. Eastern.
5 p.m. Eastern.
5
Okay.
p.m. Eastern. Okay.
All right. Well, thank you.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for popping in. Okay, so is Scooter still in the building?
I'm still here.
Okay.
Oh my gosh.
See,
Podbean
I'm
is
sitting up
killing
here.
me.
I'm sitting up here giving you props, and it's like Scooter.
Well,
Well, no, I am looking forward to you coming on to Friendly Differences on the 21st. My calendar, yes, the 21st. I'm looking forward to that. So
that's what I have. I'm ready for the cage match to the death with Spanky. This is going to be awesome. You and Ba are going to be. You guys are going to referee the right way. Is that? Did I hear that correctly? Is that in the writers
yes,
for this
and
contract?
I'm
Okay,
interested to see you and Ba, because you guys have this conspiracy thing going back and forth. So that is going to be interesting. So Scooter says John is up late. I'm impressed. Are you calling John old?
He is, Grandpa. He 8:30. He's tucked under the pillow. His wife's wondering where he's at. Where'd you go, John? We're lucky to have him, so I'm glad he's here.
Well, John, thank you. Then I consider this an honor. So, all right, everybody. Does anybody else have anything else they want to say? Scooter, you have any last words of wisdom?
I just want to thank you for having me on. I love your topics. These are always fun. And just thank you for allowing me to come on here and to verbally assault everybody.
No,
I'm
thank
excited.
you for coming on, because if it weren't for viewers, I would not have a show and people who want to listen to me and listen, to other people on my show. Thank you very much. And so everyone also know, I don't know if Jude is still here. I did not take offense to anything. No problem. What whatsoever. It's something I have not heard before. Crucible, do you have anything you want to say?
Very fun topic. It's always good to kick around these things. I appreciate you having me on, and it's always good to diversify our platforms for disagreement. So not only can we
Diversify, diversify.
disagree privately, we can disagree on platforms. I believe that's the American spirit.
Oh boy, diversify.
I love you,
Okay,
Solid.
okay,
I love
yeah,
you.
yeah,
I love
yeah.
you.
And I'm telling you guys, over the years, Crucible and I, we have had, yeah.
I
Okay.
love Solid. I love her.
All right. So, everyone, thank you so much for coming. I appreciate it so much. I have my Friday music. I changed it from my everyday music to my Friday music. So, guys, thank you so much, and hope to see you guys Sunday on Twitter or Facebook or whatever, Twitter, Facebook, or YouTube. Um, and she is and Reagan is also open to questions, and she says she will be very open as long as they don't get too personal. But she wants to tell her story and wants to say why she transitioned. So, on that note, everyone, enjoy your weekend and go where the wind takes you. Bye. John, you can go to sleep now. John says, have a good weekend, gang. Never give up. Well, Scooter was picking on you, so I had to pick on you too. He's out already. Oh, Scooter. Oh, I have to stop this for a minute. Scooter. Wait, hold on. There we go. Scooter. Cold Blue, can I hear it tomorrow night? Can I hear a little Tina Marie, please? I gotta get my questions in, my wishes in. No, ma'am, I can't hear Tina Marie. Oh man, come on, dude. My request. Thank you, thank you, John.
So